Welcome to this video from the Carleton University Library on searching for historical newspaper articles in the New York Times archives. We seek the truth and help people understand the world. This is the mission statement of the New York Times. The New York Times is a prestigious daily American newspaper based in New York City. Journalists report on local, national, and international people and events. The newspaper has a high circulation rate, the third highest in the United States, and has won 130 Pulitzer Prizes. The Pulitzer is a major American prize that honors excellence in journalism and the arts. As such, the New York Times is considered a credible, reliable, and authoritative source. The New York Times has been published since 1851, and back issues are archived in the New York Times archives. So, this digital archive can be a good source of primary evidence produced since the mid-19th century. We can access the New York Times archives through the Carleton University Library subscription, so we will start on the library homepage at www.library.carleton.ca. Then we will click on the Databases link underneath the main search field. Using the alphabet, we will then click on N, and then scroll down the page to New York Times Archives, where we will click on the hyperlink. As we can see, this is a ProQuest product that offers both a basic and an advanced search, as well as basic information about the publication. For example, the database includes articles published in or before 2017, and this includes historical local, regional, and national news stories. Now let's click on the advanced search. This page allows us to create a strategic search string using boolean operators, that is and, or, and not, as well as the Fields drop-down menu on the right-hand side of the page. When we open the Fields menu, we notice that we have a number of standard options, for example, anywhere, that is, we want to search anywhere in a document, and author. Plus, under this drop-down menu, we have more options specific to newspapers, such as dateline, that is, the city the journalist was in when he or she reported on the story, and the date the story was filed, page, and section. On the left-hand side of the page, we can see that we can filter by date range, as well as by document type, such as advertisement, article, birth notice, and classified ad. All of these filters help us to narrow our search ahead of time. In the advanced search navigation bar, we see that we have a few more options, including the command line, field codes, and search tips. The command line and the field codes allow us to construct our own search strings. The search tips provide explanations as to how to use the various functions and filters in the database. For example, if we click on Basics and scroll down, we can find information that helps us make better use of the boolean operators such as or and. Note that this information is included with all ProQuest databases, and not all databases will include all the functionality mentioned in these tips. So let's do a search for someone who was alive in the United States at the beginning of the 20th century. We will do a search for information about Nellie Bly. As we can see from the Wikipedia page on Nellie Bly, Ms. Bly was an American journalist working in the late 19th century. And in particular, at one point she lived in New York City and wrote for the New York World, a direct competitor of the New York Times. The New York World was edited by Joseph Pulitzer of Pulitzer Prize fame. As we construct our strategic search string, we have to begin by asking ourselves whether we will treat Nellie Bly as a phrase, that is, two words located together in a particular order, as a combination of two keywords, that is, Nellie and Bly, or as a proximity search, that is, we will search for these two words located in proximity or near each other. We need to test these strategies to determine which is best for our research. Let's start with Nellie Bly as a phrase. We will put the two words together in quotation marks and then click Search. This yields 518 results. Now let's search for Nellie Bly as two keywords joined with the operator AND. So we will put Nellie in the first field and Bly in the second, and then we will click on Search. This yields 752 results. Finally, we will do our proximity search, which we will construct by starting with Nellie, and then the capital N for near, and a forward slash, and then 3 for 3 words, a space, and then Bly. So we're asking the system to search for articles where these two words occur within 3 words of each other, and then we will click on Search. This search finds 520 results. The phrase search and the proximity search return approximately the same number of results, and these are fewer than the keyword search. These fewer results could be because we are searching for a person by their first and last name, which typically occur in very close proximity to each other. This type of testing is critical for determining the right search terms for our research. However, unless we do a detailed comparison of the results, we won't know what the differences are. Let's use the phrase search for this example, and we will put Nellie Bly in quotation marks in the first search field. Now we can decide if we wish to pre-filter by publication date. Let's say we want all articles published before 1914. Using the publication date drop-down menu, we can choose the before this date option, and we can put the year 1914 in the year field. And let's say we don't wish to pre-filter by document type, so we will leave the default choice as it is. And now we will click on Search. We see that we get 131 results this time, rather than over 500. Now let's say we want to save some or all of these results into a spreadsheet. We can think of this as a 3-step process. The first is to determine how many items are going to appear in each spreadsheet. The default number is 20. However, if we go to the bottom of the page, we can see that by choosing the Items per Page drop-down menu, we can change this number from 20 to 50 or 100. Let's choose 100. The second step of the process is then to export these first 100 items into our first spreadsheet. We do that by clicking on the box labeled Select 1 to 100. Then we go to the far right-hand corner of the page and click on the All Save Options button. Now we can see that under Other Options, we can export these items in a Microsoft Excel format, and we will click on this option. Then we will choose the Deselect Items When Done box and type the security phrase in the field provided. Then we will scroll down and click on Continue in the bottom right-hand corner of the pop-up. Now we can see in the bottom left-hand corner of our screen that an Excel spreadsheet has been generated. When this spreadsheet opens, it contains all of the information for each of the 100 articles that appeared on the first page. To have a spreadsheet that contains the last 31 items, we would repeat this process. So to summarize, newspaper articles can be useful primary sources for understanding the lives and experiences of historical agents. When choosing newspaper articles to use as sources, it's critical to understand the relative authority of a given publication. Is a newspaper considered a newspaper of record because, for example, it contains government information? Or is it well read and popular within its local community? The New York Times Archives is a newspaper database that can be a useful tool when looking for historical newspaper articles. The database allows us to do searches using boolean operators, phrases, and proximity indicators. To know which search strategy is best for our research, we have to test each one. And we can either filter our search ahead of time or after we receive the initial results. and we can save and export our results in an Excel spreadsheet. This is the end of this video.